Namanda, 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 Namanda. Okay. Good evening. Konbanwa. A little bit of a delay, but thank you. Always nice to come for our end of year service, the JOYA, and so looking forward to this. Lots of last minute things to take care of, and even for myself, when I hit the Kansho to signal the start, everyone feels like time to settle, and so even me settling as I'm hitting the Kansho. So I was so happy to get to that point, to start this service. So let me go over the service order with you today. We're going to read the Three Treasures on page 8, and then following that, we're going to have the chanting portion, the Sambujo and the Juseige. Okay. Nembutsu and Ekoku will complete the chanting portion of the service, and I'll come back for Dharma message, reading, thank yous, and if there are any announcements, they will be made. So in addition to the normal portions of the service, at the end of service, we're going to have our ringing of the Kansho. So we'll each have a turn to hit the Kansho. 3, 5, 7, 10, 13. 108 divided by 13. Quick. So 9, 8 or 9. Okay, we'll figure it out by the end of service, and we can each take a turn to hit the Kansho. So if it's more than 108, it's okay. All right. So, and also when you come out, this is how it will go. We'll end the service, offer incense, then file in to hit the Kansho. On your way out, you can look at these other sounds. I'll take the Daikin that usually begins the chanting, and it will be placed on the first section. There's a little bit of description for each of the service instruments, and you can see what they are used for. Some of them you are familiar with, and some not so much, but you can take the opportunity to hit every single one, or there's some different types. The setaku are the 2 blocks of wood, and you hit them this way. Okay? But try everything, all right? So now let us begin with the reading of the Three Treasures. Page 8. Hard is it to be born into human life, now we are living it. Difficult is it to hear the teachings of the Blessed One, now we hear it. If we do not realize the truth in this life, when will it be realized? Let us reverently take refuge in the 3 treasures of the true. I take refuge in the Buddha. May we absorb ourselves in the principle of the way to enlightenment and awaken in ourselves the supreme will. I take refuge in the Dharma. May we be submerged in the depths of the doctrine and gain wisdom as deep as the ocean. I take refuge in the Sangha. May we live in harmony in the great assembly as disciples of Buddha and be freed from all hindrances, becoming units of true accord in the life of harmony in a spirit of universal oneness, freed from the bondage of selfishness. Even through myriad ages of kalpas, hard is it to hear such an excellent, profound, and wonderful doctrine. Now we are able to hear and receive it. Let us thoroughly understand the true meaning of Tathagata's teachings. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namanda, Namanda. Sambujo on page 2425 and Juseige on page 93. Namanda, 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 namanda. 지금 의조도 이쇼된 이시 진리기엔 다이고 의쇼무사이도 쇼조산금요 고사이슈야쿠난 가이지에게 메시콘모한 에이소쿠쇼아쿠도 스란젠슈몬 오소조만족 이요로지포 니치간 슈즈기 텐코온 부겐 이슈카이 호소 오세쿠도쿠호 조다이 슈즈 세포시시구 그요이사이브스 그소쿠슈토쿠혼 간내신조만 토쿠이선가요 요분무게지 스란미푸쇼 간가쿠에릭 도시사이쇼손 시간약고가 다이세노칸도 오쿠쇼텐닌 도우진요게 Okay, so for our end of year service, the JOYA, this is our opportunity to express gratitude for the past year, reflecting upon the interdependence of all of life. And so with this perspective as guidelines, as a guide, we come to appreciate what we went through this past year, both the good and the bad of it all. And at the end of service, like I mentioned, we'll come in and hit the Kansho 108 times. And this is known as JOYA no Kane. And we are able to ring the Kansho, symbolically ringing away our 108 blind passions, blinding us, so that we're not able to distinguish this world of delusion from the world of enlightenment. It's a reminder of our own need to free ourselves from the entanglements of ego and self-centeredness. Okay? So we don't know what this next year is going to bring, whether it's going to be good fortune or ill fortune, but we do know that as we live the life of Nembutsu, we'll be okay. So the Nembutsu is kind of a stabilizing force in our lives, where we can maintain our equilibrium and weather the storms, regardless of what they might be. So usually for this service, I kind of look back on the calendar and kind of see what we went through over the year, and so many elements as I looked through my date book. And for the first 3 months or so, we were still doing our older version of the video services, and we had the stuffy animal chairpersons and things like this, and I would video them on Tuesday or Wednesday, and then edit and upload and send out the link on so that it will be there in time for everybody on Sunday. So it's kind of a different schedule altogether, and no one, Sangha members were here, and I'd just be running around in here, and Sharman would help me sometimes, and setting up our chairpersons here, and people would tell me, how they seem so cute to use these little stuffy animals as chairpersons, but they were more than that. I was able to share their stories and their experiences of coming to hear about the temple, being introduced to the temple. So they were kind of like new members, or they had gone through something at school, losing a childhood friend or something like this. So going through grieving process like we do, being asked to volunteer, all of a sudden pulled out of the blue to be the chairperson. And so a lot of these things that were reflected by my conversation with the chairpersons, and so they took on a whole separate role, and I thought it was really good. We talked about bullying and grieving and trying to figure out what the Nembutsu teachings were all about, and each of these things we go through at different stages of our own process, coming to know the Dharma. And it wasn't until March where we came and purchased these Mevo cameras, and they come in this set of 3, and we set them up, and through that we're able to video and send out this YouTube system, and able to open to a limited Sangha gathering here on Sundays, and 70% of the time it went fairly well. and we have certain people who I cherish dearly. When things don't go well, they let me know right away. 12:30, Sensei, we couldn't find the service. So, okay, we're working on it. And I do appreciate if they didn't call, I wouldn't know what to work on, and so really do appreciate. So hopefully it looks like everything's functioning well today, and people at the Enmanji Temple and here and there throughout the United States, they're able to catch this video feed or to watch it after the fact. Right? In March, at the end of March, we also had our Bay District BWL conference on Zoom, and this was our temple BWA, served as the board of the whole district BWL for 2 years, and so they were in charge of coordinating this district-wide conference, and they did a really nice job. We had guest speakers from Southern California, from the BCA Archives, and from the Northwest District from Seattle, and sharing what they had done to archive their temple history and a lot of the things that they're able to protect and save and keep. And so through that, not only our temple, but temples in the rest of the temples in our district, we're able to learn a little bit better, to be more comfortable in how to handle the photographs and things that we come across. Lots of times we find boxes of stuff, just like at home, right? And we don't know what to do with them and who's going to take care of them. It sure isn't going to be me, right? And so we kind of try to find someone who might be able to help with this archiving process, and this conference was a big part towards that. In June, we had a art sale, artists for Ukraine, and so pieces of art were donated, and what we were able to gain through the sale of these art pieces were sent to people going through hardships because of the war over there in the Ukraine. So very nice turnout, and we got a good substantial amount that we can contribute to that. And then later in June, we had our mini bazaar, and people really cherished that time. We had missed the bazaar for a couple of turns, and finally, even to have one day, not even the normal size, but people came and they didn't want to leave. Eating food together and hanging out in the courtyard and doing all these things and being able to visit and chat with each other, taking pictures and all these things was very nice. And similar to that, in July, we had our Bonmodori, and so this was changed up too. Usually it's open to the public, and it's a big fundraiser where we make food and we sell them. But because of that approach, the funds are very important to our temple, but the members themselves get so busy trying to prepare the food, serve the food, sell the food, and all these things, and they're too busy to participate in the dancing. So this time we had it not as a fundraiser, and so very little food was made, and so everyone could participate in the dancing, and we had special members that I won't even mention Dorothy's name, but she was in charge of setting up these floats. They were decorated wheelchairs, and so people who might not be able to dance were able to be seated and pushed along in the circle of dance, and not just to watch, but they were actually dancing and doing all these things, and just to see them being able to participate, see them in the circle, it was very touching for all of us. So that was a very special time, and so that's the Saturday of the Obon weekend, and of course the Sunday is our Hatsubon service, and this is the first Obon service for families who lost a temple member, a member of their family between the previous Obon and this year's Obon. So during that 12-month period, it's the Hatsubon service for each of those people. So this is very dear time for those members. In September, we had our second annual BCA art exhibit, and so this was again very well received, and we had 6 people from this temple, the Alameda temple, who contributed to the art exhibit, and another 7 who were connected to the Enmanji temple. So we were well represented by the Bay District, participating in our second annual BCA art exhibit. So that was, it's still on the website, the BCA website, and again, very well received, and we look forward to doing that, continuing to do that. Very recently, November 17th, the Pacific entrance, there's an oval-shaped signage marking traces of Alameda's Japantown. So we have a sign here, and they placed one on the one of the pillars of the marketplace on Park, and many of you have seen that. And they had a special dedication on the 17th, so some of us gathered there, and dignitaries from the community and the city were there, and reflecting upon Alameda history and the part that the Japanese community has had on that. And there's going to be 2 more markers, one at the Buena Vista Church across the street, and one at the public library. So these will be 4 areas that will have these markers, and kind of like the boundaries of what Japantown was. And it really was something really amazing. So hard to imagine. Some people here grew up with all that, but kind of being new to Alameda, I had no idea they had such a vibrant, dynamic, history. So Japanese American history. So very special. So one of the things I do want to take a moment to recognize very special members that we did lose here in Alameda this past year. In January, Osamu Sugiyama, Mr. Perry Poon. In April, Mrs. Joyce Terao. In July, Mrs. Mie Hasegawa, Mrs. Anna Sugiyama. In September, Mr. Eddie Matsuoka. October, Mr. George Taniguchi and Mrs. Louise Yasuda Oda. In November, Mrs. Barbara Muramoto. And this month, Mr. Hideo Archie Uchiyama. So it's always a difficult thing for our dear families to go through. We kind of take turns going through such losses, and they're never easy, but we always we're able to recognize the support that we receive through the temple, through our friends at the temple, and the traditions that are provided here to guide us through such difficult times. So with that, always do appreciate reflecting upon the year, and not only at the temple, but personally. We have so many things to look back on and to appreciate. So in getting ready for today, just to let you know, the things are never ending. Just a couple of days ago, a leak in the temple kitchen was noticed, so that was mopped up quickly. And yesterday, the leak is there again with this heavy storm, and I brought in the pail and mopped that up. When I came today, there's another puddle again, and so I'm trying to get ready for this. And Hiko came early, so can you take over? And he's mopping, and I'm running this way, and he's running this way, and gradually a few more people show up, and so it's a very busy time. And I told Hiko, I just got here, and it was like an hour before service. And I had just got here because my mother's water heater went out, the tankless water heater. So all morning I was standing in the rain outside at her house. Finally thought I'd get dry, and first thing to do is grab a mop and getting ready. There's a leak up here too, so we're addressing all these difficulties, and they get revealed when we have these storms. My son's going through the same thing, and not only the puddles, but all the ants come up, right? Because they want to get out of the soggy dirt, and they come inside for cover. And so they come into the buildings as well. So lots of things here are going on. So what will happen next is I'm going to put the daikin on the table, and we'll be able to come and oshoko, hit the kansho. No. Okay, very good. So after these 2 days, we'll be back to our normal monthly schedule. The first Sunday, that's not the 1st of January, will be our Shotsuki service, and then we'll be off and running BWA meetings Monday evening, Dharma school staff meetings Monday evening, and all these things that will be coming up. Okay, so at this time, I would like to thank everyone for helping to prepare for the service. We have fresh flowers on the onaiji that were prepared by the flower committee, and fruits are provided as well. Mops were provided by the temple. Just kidding, just kidding. Okay, so no announcements, so the incense is burning. Please come up and offer incense, and I'll open this door for the Kansho, ringing of the Kansho. Those of you in Enmanji, I'm going to sign off, and you can go ahead to hit your own Kansho over there, however you have prepared to do. So thank you very much for joining us. Please join me in Gassho. We'll conclude. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namanda, Namanda.